Welcome back everyone, it's EvanHusa57 here. We are back on Dark Souls 3 on the Xbox One with part 25 of the full game walkthrough. So, like I said in part 24, after we killed the High Lord, we just came back from his bonfire and we will be going to the Smoldering Lake. So, for the most part, this series has been bonfire to bonfire, but this part is going to be a little bit more complicated. So what we're going to want to do is we're actually going to knock down that bridge, and kind of weird how sometimes you can survive the fall from that. Sometimes it takes you with you, sometimes it doesn't, but if it doesn't, that's simply a bridge ladder now. So you can go climb back up to the top, or you can, if it doesn't take you down, you can just slide down. But that's how you get down here. And we're going to cover a couple of bonfires in this playthrough because it's a really interesting section. So first off, I will actually use an ember, and I'm merely going to do that to get my health back and get that little bit of extra health due to the fact that I've got an enemy I'm not really too excited about fighting. And unfortunately, because I have already killed the High Lord, I have to fight this demon solo. Now, he's not too terribly difficult to do, and he's got a few attacks that you have to dodge, but he really doesn't do much when you pull him up here. He can't exit this arena, so he basically just backs off, and you can either shoot him with a bow, or in my case, since I'm a mage, I just shoot him with magic. Takes a minute, but, you know, gets the job done. Try not to let him hit me though, because he does hurt. And just the only attack you have to really worry about is that fire breath attack. We will use some mana or focus points, you know, whatever they want to call it in this game. Switch to a regular soul arrow to finish him off, and he is out of here. So quickly pop an Ashen Estus, and there we go. We have the soul of a demon. So we got that, in case you wanted it. Now, this area is not much to be seen. There's a few things up here, you know, and things like that. Now, this is a mimic. It's not like Dark Souls 1, where you can see the teeth, but if you move your camera down, you can actually see the chest lid come up slightly. So that is a way to tell that it is a mimic, but a very easy way to tell that it's a mimic, and a very helpful thing, is to use these Undead hunter charms and just take one and throw it at the chest if you're unsure of it. And basically, it will cause the chest to open. You can pick up the item inside, which in my case is the Black Blade. That's actually a very, very good weapon. It's currently the weapon that I'm using right now, and you can do an incredible amount of damage to the mimic without it actually getting up. So do keep in mind it will eventually get up and try to kill you, and mimics are very, very annoying. That's why you can just leave it alone, and I do typically recommend that you leave it alone, because you will be forced down into this area with the skeletons, and then you will be dealing with the skeletons and the mimic at the same time. And the mimic can be rather difficult to hit with spells if you are a sorcerer. So just bear all of that information in mind, what you will be dealing with, and execute your strategy accordingly. It's not too terribly bad. As you can see here, the mimic is just about dead, and he is dead. I did not technically have to kill the mimic. The only reason why I did is simply for the extra souls. You can use that little trick with the hunter's charm and just get the item out of the mimic and then walk away, and you don't have to fight the mimic. So, personal preference on that one. Now, you'll notice I'm waiting here because these skeletons reanimate themselves. It is possible for you to run past them, but I prefer to just kill them. A very easy way to know if these guys are going to reanimate themselves is their eyes will be white, and you'll know that when you kill them, you will then have to fight them again. They will reanimate. If their eyes are not glowing white, then what will happen is they'll just die, and that'll be the end of it, which is really nice because then you don't have to worry about it. Now we're going to have a few more skeletons in this area. As you can see, there's one already here, and like I said, there's the glowing white eyes, so you know they're going to reanimate on you. Just keep an eye out for that. There's a bunch of them in this room. You don't want to have to deal with all of them at once, but come over here. There's a large Titanite shard, and currently that's what I need actually for upgrading my weapon. So it's another reason why I want to run through this area and get the items, is so I can actually obtain a higher weapon level. And since I'm using the Black Blade, it's pretty awesome, which is the weapon that we got just literally out of that chest. But like I mentioned in the previous video, my friend Spartan was kind enough to give me one, so I got to use the weapon a little bit early on, since I'm a fan of the katanas anyways, and I was using the Uchiha katana. Now these guys use like a scimitar or some type similar weapon, so if they gang up on you, they can do a massive amount of damage pretty quick to you. As you've seen there, I lost the majority of my health bar, and they can stun lock you. So yeah, it can be really annoying, but they go down relatively quick. It just depends on your build. If you're a more agile build, you'll have less issues with this area. So loot those couple items, loot the katana and all of that. Come down here. There's one more item for you to loot. Well, actually two, which is the Sage's Blindfold and the Witch's Ring. The Blindfold, not that great. The Witch's Ring could be useful depending upon your build. And then you will light this bonfire, which will be the Abandoned Tomb. Now, this is where I would normally end the video, but because this is Smoldering Lake, and it's a little bit weird how you have to do this, I'm not going to end the video just yet. We're going to keep going, and we're going to get some of the items and the crucial points in this area done, and then we will start from the main bonfire in Smoldering Lake in episode 26. So, what you will notice when you come out in this area, and very important, if you look to your right, you can kind of look through this crack in the rock, and you see that little weird thing right up there, kind of right above my helmet, that's moving around. That is a 3-tier ballista, and you can get it to stop firing at you, but you actually need it to help you get a couple of items. So what we are going to do is we are going to leave it alone for right now and use these trees as cover. Now you see that giant worm sand thing that looks like it came out of either Gears of War or Tremors. Well, we have a couple of options in dealing with that. We can either A, sit there and fight it, which can take a very long time to do and be very annoying, or we can use the ballista to actually help us out. Now, if you want to speed run the area, you can simply run through that fog gate that I just passed, and yeah, you're good. So what you want to do is you want to get behind this rock, and you have a couple of options, but you want to go ahead and keep your shield up and just let the ballista do damage to that little snake or worm or whatever you want to call it. And that attack right there, that lightning attack, is the reason why we really don't want to go out and fight it. Because if we go out there and fight it ourselves, that water will just amplify the electric damage, and it's pretty insane. So all we do is we simply chill here for a minute and let the ballista do the work for us. Which, you know, to each his own. If you want to fight it, you can, but I don't. Now you might be saying, what about skipping it? Well, you could skip it, but it's actually worth it to have this guy killed, either by you killing it or by the ballista killing it. And the reason for that is it gives a couple very nice items. Right there, you see we have the lightning stake and we have the undead bone shard. So two crucial items for this area. Now what we can do is we can come back out, and that guy doesn't respawn, but you will see that that ballista is just incredibly accurate and incredibly fast firing, so it's very, very annoying. You will burn through your Estus in this area. Now we're going to pick up a couple things. We're going to pick up that Shield of Want, which is another item right there. We're going to pick up that large Titanite shard. We're going to get shot several times by the ballista. It is unavoidable. But we are going to go over here, and I'm not going to get every single item over here, but I'm going to get the majority of the items that at least we need the ballista for. So what you want to do is you want to come to this little man-made wall, and you want the ballista to hit it. And there's a body right here. This is where you pick up the Speckled stone plate ring. Now, I already picked up that ring because I wanted to make sure I had it, and this way I could show you. Since I have had that ballista, it's actually killed me before. But right there's the Speckled stone plate ring. So it slightly ups magic, lightning, fire, and dark damage absorption. Basically, it's kind of an all-in-one blood bite, poison bite, you know, flame plate ring. Kind of just a general buff to defense. So it is a good ring to have. Now, like I said, we're not going to get every single item in this area because we have enemies to deal with and we have that damn ballista to deal with, which, yeah, we're just not going to. The only items in this area are actually large Titanite chunks. Well, not chunks, but shards. And, like I said, ballista, incredibly annoying. You're going to get hit by it. There is no getting around the fact that you're going to get hit by it. It's just a thing, so deal with it, and you will literally be burning through your Estus. Now, you will come right here, and you will have the ballista shoot you, and that'll open up this little passage that you see in front of me. Keep that in mind. But we have this area filled with giant crabs. Now, there's a couple large Titanite shards over this way. I'm going to try and make it to this one. I don't recommend that you do this now unless you are comfortable with risking dying, because for merely a chaos gem and a couple large Titanite shards, I personally don't think it is worth it, since you have all of these crabs over here to deal with as well. Now, personal preference on that one, like I said before, you can risk it like I did, and you can get lucky. You might die, something to keep in mind, but, you know, it's up to you. So, I'm going to grab the other large Titanite shards that are out here, and then there is one more enemy that we will have to defeat, but I will be stopping back at the bonfire, so I'll just make a small cut so you don't have to see me running to the bonfire and then running back. Basically, but right here is that other large Titanite shard, and then we will simply keep running right to this little cave where we are protected from the ballista, and I shall be right back. We have returned. So, just simply topped off at the bonfire because that ballista took a lot of my health, but we're going to come in here and there's going to be a tough enemy. There's normally 2 crystal lizards in here. I did actually kill them already because I wanted the Titanite items that they dropped. So, yeah. Now, if you remember, we were way up there in the beginning of the video. Can't look that high. And this is basically the ground pool that we were in. So this fight can be relatively annoying. Personal preference, make sure you're all good to go. Make sure you have any buffed rings or anything like that you use on. Just because, like I said, I've had a couple issues with this fight where it didn't quite go the way that I wanted it to. But at least I did not have to worry about the ballista shooting me. So pretty easy. You're going to have this guy right here to deal with. And depends on your build, whether you're like, say, a strength dex build, or if you're more of a battle mage like myself. The fight's going to be different depending upon your play style. Now, he's going to poke me a couple times with that halberd there, but nothing super, super fantastic that I can't overcome. and we're just going to blast him basically into oblivion. Just depends on your play style, but yeah, you pretty much massacre him. He's not too terribly difficult, and you're going to get that shield from killing him. So, that's another item, if you want it, personal preference. Then you're going to come and pick up these items, which are the large Titanite shards and some yellow bug pellets. The yellow bug pellets are not that useful. They increase your lightning damage absorption, but I've found myself not really using them all that much. Maybe later in the game they'll come in handy, but right now, not so. Alright, so now what we have to do is we have to exit the area, and we're going to go back to where we fought that sandworm. So, it shouldn't take me too long to get there, just a few seconds, and we're going to pick up a couple last items. After that, we will get the bonfire, and that will be it for the starting area of Smoldering Lake. And you'll see why it is Smoldering Lake as you progress through this area. It's a fun area, but it's a very annoying area, and that ballista is incredibly annoying. So if you don't have high health, like right now I'm making, and I'm well into my Havel's Nightmare build, which is basically a battle mage build. So medium armor, but magic damage, magic in a katana or magic and the moonlit. So that'll be a fun thing once my build is complete. So I do have a decent amount of health, and I've got decent armor on. If your build does not have that, just play accordingly. So get that item, that large Titanite shard that's right there. Come down in here, and if in the previous video where you see me defeat the invader, that's the NPC invader, you will actually see this summon sign available right here. And this is Night Slayer Torsig. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's a white phantom that you can summon if you're playing, offline, or you don't have anyone that you can summon. His summon sign is available for you to use. But here is the bonfire, and this is the bonfire we will be going from for the next part of the video. This is Demon Runes. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all in episode 26. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, make sure you leave a comment. Otherwise, smash the like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.